So this week, a buddy of mine asked me, is AI coming to take all the jobs? And this question's everywhere at the moment, isn't it? There's like podcasts talking about it. There's like former Googlers. And I'm just going to say, no, it isn't. In fact, this may be one of the biggest scams that we've ever seen. Now, just to explain my thinking on this, I'm going to go all over the place on a bunch of different stuff. Sound a bit crazy, but who cares? I'm 52. So I've been working my whole life in software, worked for companies of various sizes. The very first job I had was actually at IBM. Let's first take a look at what is the AI thing? Are we coming close to AI? No, we're not. Actually, it's after 2 years of ChatGPT, or a little bit more than that, it's starting to reach a point where it's like, it's not really that impressive, is it? We've seen it now. Because what is AI? What are these large language models, transformer architectures? What's it about? Basically, all it comes down to is advanced autocomplete. You know, on your phone where you're typing and it fills in the words like Mary had a little lamb. And that's what these models are. What they've done is they've trained it on everything they could find, all the content of the internet, books, whatever they could do there, and then it outputs content statistically based on the input. And weirdly, that weird thing with the hyphens that ChatGPT has, apparently that might even come from Medium, the website medium.com, because the CEO there was obsessive about using those little hyphens. So in the end, all this thing is just basically advanced autocomplete. But then people are like, but Harry, what about the reasoning models? Yeah, you know what that is? That's chats talking to chats. So all they do is they put one in the center. They say, okay, we've been asked to answer this question. Let's break it down into little pieces, distribute it to other chats. They all come back. This thing ranks it and you get a result back. And the results are initially pretty impressive. Like, you know, it's maybe you could say it's an iteration beyond what Google used to provide. So when you search for something, you get an article as an answer. What these chats are doing are basically assembling an answer out of many different sources. And so in the end though, and there's a bunch of other different like AIs, they're just different algorithms, you know, video generation, image generation, it's all coming out around the same time. This is a long, long way from anything that looks like some kind of like AI having its own consciousness. And in fact, this goes into like a deeper thing. As a human species, we always had this deep fear that something's going to replace us. If you're interested, like go back 2,000 years, I think in Jewish mythology, there's this idea of the golem, the clay creature that's coming to take all the jobs. But the real reason why AI is not going to be taking any jobs is from working at many companies, that's not how companies work. Like there are certain types of job that may be replaceable, but in general, what most people do in most companies is they keep processes running, like logistics, supply chain, accounting, whatever it is. And yes, AI can be used as a tool in those things, but there's no interest in replacing it. In fact, if you know how most companies work, they have this thing called risk management. It's incredibly, like any medium to large company, it's incredibly hard to change anything. Not only that, all this kind of AI automation, this is not easy to implement. It's expensive to implement. Theoretically, if you could replace a bunch of humans with like AI generated workflows or AI managed workflows, you might be able to save some money. We have to look a little bit at all the token costs and costs involved. But the cost of building that workflow to get it predictable and sustainable versus whatever the human's doing, which already works. Companies don't like change. They want to keep like a nice profit margin every year. Let's talk 10%, whatever our profits are. That's great. And we do that by preventing anything from being changed. That is what most large companies are doing. The top of the company, sure, they'd like to do a bit of cost cutting, but if you tell them, well, you can cut costs if you throw in a few $100 million to actually build the cost cutting system. You know, like I've worked at places where they have processes that are 20, 30, 40 years old, where they're still doing things on paper, because it's just easier to have some humans repeating that thing again and again and again than even just like doing basic system integration. So, I mean, when you think about that stuff, basically, like, it's not happening to replace us. That's not going to happen. So why are they selling us this story? And maybe just one other thing, I'm just jumping around here. I've been playing a lot with like AI-based coding tools. Really fun, really interesting. It's also, though, it takes programming to a meta level. Now, for me, because I've worked in software many years, that works. If you're a junior software developer, I'm not sure you yet have the experience to be able to work at that meta level. And being able to work at a meta level, so you're not writing code, you're instructing something else to generate code. This requires like second, third order thinking. We've got about 47 million programmers on the planet. That's your entire available workforce to roll out like AI automation and kill all the jobs. But of those people, I guess less than 10% have the cognitive ability to do stuff like that. A lot of those people are just like doing HTML templates or whatever the hell they're doing. They're not doing like rocket science stuff. So you're talking, it's an incredibly complex thing to be replacing people. It's high investment, and companies, like, you're fighting against the inertia of what's already working, and companies do not like risk. I shouldn't bang my fists on the table because the whole camera shakes, but who cares? So, bearing all that in mind, why are we being sold this story of AI is taking all the jobs? Well, number one is it's extremely evocative, it's sexy, it gets people afraid. Fear is a powerful motivator. You've got, from the top down, a lot of what the investors are doing is just going to the boards of companies they're invested in and saying, what's your AI strategy? I've got a good buddy of mine who was saying, well, we've taken a smart approach to AI strategy. We found this stupid project that nobody cares about. We're throwing AI at that so we can go back to the board and say, hey, here's our AI strategy. Because they know it's ridiculous. This technology is incredibly like immature. It does some wow things. But the other aspect of that, so we have this fear of AI taking the jobs. That's the first thing. It's an evocative story. It's exciting. Investors love it. Workers hate it. It creates like a lot of people talking about it. We've got us talking in bars and over coffee like, is AI coming for our jobs? No. Now, there's the other aspect of what ChatGPT and LLMs are, which there is on almost religious level. Like, this is the first time we've seen technology able to produce content in a way like this. And it's pretty mind-blowing to us. It's like, wow, like, fuck, this is really never seen stuff that looks like this before. Or at least that was 2 years ago. I think we're getting a little bit tired of it now. We're starting to be able to predict it. But even so, this is the first time that we've ever done that. But let me remind you, all it is basically advanced autocomplete. And so if you bear that in mind, if you say advanced autocomplete, please invent a religion for me to worship, it will do that for you. It will do that for you because it's going to go into some obscure forum, a subreddit where it pulled out some content and pull out a crazy story that will pull out like all the comments and all the text of things that people have said to present you with something. You're like, oh my God, wow, this is like a real religion. And the key thing why I'm emphasizing religion is because Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI that owns ChatGPT, if you go back to his blog, I think in 2012 or 13, he actually talks about this. He says, if you want to make money, start a business. If you want to make a lot of money, start a religion. And that's actually what he's done. And not only has he created this religion, America, Trump, that administration is bought in. Now, here's where we're going to get a bit crazier, is that there's a reason why this needs to be sold like crazy. If you look at the Standard & Poor, the S&P 500 right now, most of the value of that thing is in a few tech companies. I think Nvidia is right now like 23% of that value. And if you put that in context, another factor that's going on the planet is we've got a second global financial payment system coming online, which is called the BRIC system. And the US approach to economy, where you can just print money willy-nilly, only works if the dollar is the only currency for international trade. It's now under threat. And nothing in America, having outsourced all their manufacturing and production, is powerful or effective enough to blow up the US economy except a religion. And that's why Donald Trump is saying, like, there's going to be a moratorium, no regulation of AI for the next 10 years. It's like America is all in because it's existential. It needs this to keep the dollar up high. And so we all need to buy the AI religion. And what better way to sell it than the fear it might come and take our jobs? Like that's what I think this grift is. And I may sound like a crazy fool. 52, been on this planet for a while, seen some stuff. This is what I think is actually going on. And so the thing is like, what does that mean for us? Should we be freaking out? Like this, like basically we're heading likely for an AI bubble to burst. And right now they're doing all kinds of like funny stuff to keep OpenAI afloat, like exchanging value with other companies and turning it back into a non-profit and blah, 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 which is all like financial trickery, so that we keep believing in this stuff. Nobody can spot, wait, like the emperor's wearing no clothes. Now, you may think to yourself, but that's going to be great. Maybe the bubble will burst and we'll all wake up and I'll stop needing to be afraid of my job. If that happens, here's the problem, is that it's likely to take the US economy down with it, which is going to take down most of the European economies and have a massive impact across the globe. And then we really will see some jobs get lost. So America is all in, and by default, because every other country in the world, apart from some nations that are in the BRIC system, are all in with America. So we need to believe in that AI God. That's basically what I'm saying.